Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin tonight in the Northwest Territories, where an 8-year-old child has died in the community of Wati. RCMP say they received a report Wednesday that the child had been pronounced dead at the community health centre. Police say the death is now under investigation by the Northwest Territories Coroner's Service with support from the RCMP. In a statement, the Northwest Territories Health and Social Services Authority says it cannot comment on specific cases in order to protect patient privacy. However, it says the Cleachon Community Services Agency is reviewing the incident to better understand what happened and address concerns that have been raised. The statement says officials recognize the seriousness of the situation and the grief being felt in the community. Health officials say a thorough review is needed to establish the facts surrounding the child's death. The agency also expressed its condolences to the child's family, loved ones, and the community. Homelessness remains one of the Yukon's biggest challenges, and advocates say they have a roadmap to cut it in half. A new action plan released by the Yukon Anti-Poverty Coalition includes 29 recommendations aimed at closing housing gaps, strengthening partnerships with Yukon First Nations, and better tracking progress. The strategy updates an earlier plan released in 2017. Advocates say the need is growing, with more people experiencing homelessness and many remaining unhoused for longer periods of time.
We're, as a community, seeing a greater influx of individuals experiencing homelessness. We also have a segment of our those experiencing homelessness who have been, for that experience has been really long-term and enduring. And so this framework really helps us, I think, hold each other to account in a better way, to measure our progress, to be a little bit more vocal about the successes and challenges we're having, and to rally together as partners again.
A motion is now before Whitehorse City Council asking the city to formally support the plan. CBC News has also asked the Department of Health and Social Services whether the Yukon government intends to sign on. Nunavut is preparing to take on more control over its land and resources. The territory will create a new Department of Mines, Natural Resources and Land as part of devolution in 2027. Nunavut Premier John Mayne announced the new department on Tuesday in the Legislative Assembly. It'll oversee some of the responsibilities being transferred from the federal government as Nunavut gains greater authority over land and resource management. Mayne says bringing those functions together will create a single point of access for development projects, improve coordination within government, and make it easier for both Nunavummiut and industry to navigate the system.
This model will preserve the expertise of the current federal team while integrating new functions into the government of Nunavut. By aligning legislative authority within one department and under one minister, we will streamline decision-making, reduce delays, and improve efficiency.
The new department will take responsibility for Nunavut's public lands and freshwater resources. It'll also oversee mineral exploration and development, along with oil and gas activities across the territory. The government says it'll work closely with Inuit organizations, public institutions, and industry partners to help ensure resource development creates lasting benefits for Nunavummiut. As Diavik Diamond Mine pushes to dissolve its environmental watchdog, Indigenous governments in the Northwest Territories are split on what should happen next. The Cleachon government says it's time to begin winding down the Environmental Monitoring Advisory Board. The board was created to oversee the mine's environmental performance, but Cleachon officials say it was never intended to exist forever. They argue other regulators already oversee Diavik's closure and reclamation plans.
WMAB was never intended to be a permanent body. It's natural for any organization to have some self-interest, but the focus should be on Diavik and GNWT and the Indigenous governments and organizations. It's for them to decide what the best time is to wind up WMAB.
I'm the one that's going to live off the land after the mine closes. We don't want to see any damage, any pollution. So right now, that's where the Diavik's operating right now. That area, it's a home to the animals. Everything is there.
The chair of the advisory board, which represents Lutsuk e Dene First Nation, says independent oversight remains important. He worries about potential impacts on the land, water, and wildlife after mining operations end. The NWT Environment Minister is expected to decide the board's future by the end of June. In Nunavut, the community of Kugluktuk is set to receive 10 new homes over the next year. The modular houses are expected to arrive on this summer's sea lift, and they're being welcomed as a much-needed addition in a community facing a housing shortage. But some residents worry the homes could come at a cost, raising concerns about what the project could mean for local jobs and training opportunities. The CBC's Liam Baker reports.
Kugluktuk, like many communities across Nunavut, is in the midst of a housing shortage. Under the territory's strategy to build 3,000 homes by 2030, the community of 1,500 people will receive 41 public housing units. Nunavut's housing minister, Cecile Lyle, confirmed in the legislature on Monday 10 of those units would be transported to the community on this year's sea lift. Ryan Navingaluk is Kugluktuk's mayor.
The waiting list here is huge. Housing need is for here is similar as the rest of the communities across the north. There's lots of overcrowding. Needs for 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms are high.
The 10 new homes will also be modular, or prefabricated, prior to arrival. Kugluktuk's MLA, Simon Kuliktana, says while the homes are a welcome relief, he worries their prefabricated nature could take away jobs from the community.
I know modular homes are way cheaper to build a stick build. It saves money, but also we kind of lose local employment. Sometimes it's a catch-22.
Kuliktana says the new houses could help improve mental health in the community, however, as alleviating overcrowding could also reduce stress. The homes are built by Arctic Modular Homes in Winkler, Manitoba. Liam Baker, CBC News, Ottawa.
After years of debate over where to build a new École Whitehorse Elementary School, the Yukon government now has fresh feedback from the public. Hundreds of residents weighed in on 3 possible locations for a replacement for the territory's oldest operating school. Dana Hatherley has those details.
3 options are proposed for the new elementary school. One is the current site downtown, another across from the Copper King, and a lot by the Canada Games Centre. The results suggest current students, staff, and council prefer a spot that's not downtown. Students said they preferred the lot near the Canada Games Centre because of its access to nature and recreational facilities. A written comment from a student in the report says, quote, "Think of the drug dealers near the current school site." Staff were also against keeping the school downtown. They said the location is detrimental to learning, staff retention, and safety. On the other hand, online respondents most commonly chose the existing site downtown. The report says the CGC site was their second pick. The Copper King site was the least favored option. Yukon University says it's jarring that it's being considered because it's university endowment land. The government says more than 1,900 Yukoners filled out the latest online survey. Hundreds more went to information sessions. The report says the community's engaged but divided on a solution. According to the report, the school draws students from every Whitehorse neighborhood. 31 students live downtown. A technical analysis will inform future site selection, which is expected later this year. Dana Hatherley, CBC News, Whitehorse.
A fire break built to protect Kakiza NWT from wildfires is now helping the community heal from them. Residents are using part of the cleared area to grow traditional berries that were lost during a devastating wildfire more than a decade ago. And 2 years into the project, the results are already taking root. Sarah St. Pierre reports.
We're just heading to the fire guard. We just left it alone for a while until the water dries up.
As Chief Lloyd Chico drives toward Kakisa's fire break, the landscape tells 2 stories. One is about protection from future wildfires. The other is about bringing something back. A wildfire in 2014 burned through much of the surrounding forest, destroying berry patches many residents relied on.
Well, the majority of the, like you can see here, it's right, like not here, but some of the areas where it's burnt, it burned right through the soil. Like in the other area burned twice, so it just There's just ashes there. There's nothing left.
So 2 years ago, community members transplanted berry plants into the firebreak. Raspberries, strawberries, cranberries, and saskatoons. The goal wasn't just to grow food, it was to keep tradition alive.
When they move to one of the traditional places, usually they'll have berries, they'll have wild potatoes, onions, and that kind of thing. And then they wanted to recreate some of that in the community. And they like, so there'll be plenty for everybody. And they wanted to do those kind of stuff, continue what they were doing.
The berry patch is part of a larger effort to grow more local food in Kikisa. And for garden coordinator Julian Canadian, it's been a very different kind of work.
So I'm enjoying what I do. I used to be a firefighter, so I used to watch things burn, so now I'm growing things. So it's a learning experience for me, so yeah, it's pretty good.
Saying like, hey, we're actually harvesting food from the garden, we're living off the garden.
The project is a partnership between Kagitu First Nation and researchers from Wilfrid Laurier University. What started as a project to grow food locally is now becoming an example of how fire breaks can serve communities in other ways too.
These don't have to be just big cleared areas. They can really help to support communities as well and to help to reach their priorities. So if that's a guardian program, if that's berries, if that's anything really that communities want to see, these spaces can be used for that. Of course, as long as it's not hard infrastructure, but these don't have to be just empty spaces.
And with the berry plants thriving, the community is already looking ahead. Plans are being discussed to expand the patch and make it more accessible for elders and children. A project that began with a community garden is now taking root in an unlikely place. Sarah Saint-Pierre, CBC News, Kikisa.
Officials with Parks Canada are nearing the finish line on an 8-year cleanup project in Kausuituk National Park. The project, called Tidy Tundra equals Healthy Herds, is removing the remnants of oil and gas exploration that were left behind on the high Arctic landscape decades ago. Crews have been cleaning up waste dating back to the 1970s at 7 former exploration sites. Hazardous materials have already been removed, and Parks Canada says crews are now focused on hauling out the remaining debris.
Since then, we've been pulling out the non-hazardous stuff in any way we can. We've used helicopters to forward things to places where we can get a twin otter in, and then twin otter goes in and we can fit 14, 16 empty barrels on a twin otter.
As you heard, some of the cleanup has required helicopters and twin otter aircraft to move barrels and equipment from the remote locations. Other materials have been hauled out by snowmobile. The goal is to restore habitat for Peary caribou, a species at risk that calls the region home. Earlier this week, we told you about severe erosion forcing the closure of part of the Twin Falls trails in the Northwest Territories. Now, a similar problem is raising concerns in Whitehorse. The city has closed a section of the Millennium Trail because of erosion along the riverbank. But some residents say the signs posted along the popular pathway are leaving them confused about exactly what's happening. George Moratis reports.
This is what greeted Millennium Trail users this week: orange barricades and somewhat vague signage.
My initial thought was confusion because I see people walking there. So is it really closed? Also, initially, just for my history, think it's a bear, but I don't know. I hear it's erosion and not a bear.
Kitts wasn't the only one perplexed.
Why?
Carmen Kamish was less amused. She's organizing the annual Whitehorse Kidney Walk. It's set for this Sunday, and the Millennium Trail is the planned route.
I'm a little confused and concerned about the trail closing. Everything looks pretty normal. I don't know where the erosion is and where the trouble is.
The trail users' confusion is warranted. The signage lacks specifics. As you make your way along the path, it really is hard to know what the issue is. Most of the people I came across on the trail were fairly blasé when it came to the warnings. Some simply walked around the barricades. This is the reason for the sudden closure. This portion of the trail has significantly eroded.
We got a report from a citizen last Friday about that embankment and the state of erosion.
Gray says the city worked quickly to close the impacted portion of the trail. Gray admits the initial trail signage was confusing. By midday, city staff had updated it. As for when the closed portion of the trail will reopen, Gray says the hope is by the end of next week. She says when it comes to erosion, there's no easy fix.
There's a lot of climactic factors this year that are contributing to the erosion. I think we can all say that erosion is impacting various areas of the city across the transportation network, and the city is working towards different solutions and really closely monitoring the state of erosion across the city.
In the meantime, city officials are asking Millennium Trail users to use caution and be mindful of erosion. George Moratis, CBC News, Whitehorse.
What does the future of French language education look like in the North? Educators, students, and community leaders from across the territories have been meeting in Yellowknife to help answer that question. A two-day summit is wrapping up today, and it's believed to be the first event of its kind, bringing together participants from the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, both in person and online. The goal? Identify the challenges facing French language education in the North and build a shared vision for the years ahead. I stopped by the summit earlier and spoke with Patrick Arsenault from College Nordique. Patrick, thank you so much for being here with me today. I understand this is the first of its kind in terms of all three territories gathering to talk about the future of education in French language. So tell me why now? Why is this happening right now?
So the college is part of a national organization called RESDAC, le Réseau pour le développement de l'alphabétisme et des compétences, and so is Association Franco-Yukonaise and Association des Francophones du Nunavut. And as part of that national group, there was a national summit in 2024, I believe, where everybody throughout Canada got together in Ottawa to discuss the future of education. And one of the things that came out is that we needed to go back to our own provinces and territories to kind of assess our own realities. So far, there's been a summit for New Brunswick, there's been one for Alberta, and we're the third one in line. But when it came to us, we decided to ask if there's a way we could do it, the three territories together, to pool our resources, our idea, our perspectives, and they said yes. So we developed our own one-of-a-kind summit for the three territories.
Yeah, tell me what's come up so far in the summit.
I think we've discussed a lot about our similarities, our differences, and ways to work together. It turns out we have a lot more in common than we think oftentimes. And we know that, we have all these challenges of distance, geography, cost of doing everything in the North. But when we pool our resources, we can actually accomplish a lot more. And just this summit is a great example because we organized the three organizations together, and we're able to do so much more than if we had done it individually.
Tell me about, just from these conversations, what's your assessment of the overall strength of the French language? I know you're in the Northwest Territories, but if you could talk about across the three territories.
French is strong and alive in the three territories. It's actually an official language of the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and also Nunavut, which is not the case in many provinces. Actually, there's only Quebec and New Brunswick that have French as an official language. So I think because of that, we have some rights and we have access to services that perhaps we would not get otherwise. In terms of numbers, at least in the Northwest Territories and the Yukon, we're actually quite large. We're about 10% here of Francophone or Francophiles in the Northwest Territories, which is quite big because when you compare with, let's say, Ontario, where it's about 5%. So there's a lot of people that speak French, and the community is very vibrant.
And what about some of the concerns that are coming up?
Well, even if in percentage we are 10%, which is quite good, these numbers remain small, so our pools are quite small, and we know that young people in Northwest Territories tend to go away for studies, which makes sense because there's not a lot of opportunities to study here. So we lose our young people, and we need to be able to attract them back or attract new people and retain them so that our French community can stay alive and strong and as dynamic as it's been. So I think this is definitely a challenge. The small pools and the cost of doing everything, and the distances as well, because we have people who speak French in Inuvik, in Hay River, in Fort Smith, in Yellowknife, and it can be incredibly hard to serve all these communities.
I mean, you mentioned Inuvik and Fort Smith there. Those are two communities that recently lost their elementary French immersion. I wonder what conversations have happened here around that and what people are saying.
I can only speak for myself, but I'm obviously very disappointed to see this happen. in Francophone education, the continuum is extremely important. We need people to have access to education from pre-K and kindergarten all the way to post-secondary. If we break that continuum, we lose people because they know that once they reach a certain level, they won't have access to education in the language. So it's prohibitive. People will then change and study in English just to have more opportunities. And when you lose kindergarten or elementary school, then you really lose the beginning of the funnel. So it's definitely going to impact us. Those communities don't have French schools, so really all they had was the immersion pathway. So taking that away is really a step back for our community.
Is there any way that you could, or one could, fill that gap?
I don't have any idea how to do that. I think we need immersion programs in French schools in those communities to allow kids to learn the language and to keep the language alive and the culture.
And finally, what do you think is the future of French in the territories? What is your vision for that?
I'm very optimistic about the future for learning in the post-secondary level, but also for informal, like community learning or workshops. I see a lot of synergies and collaborations among the three territories, and I think that's definitely going to help us reach our next level in development.
I do actually have one more. What are you hoping comes out of this conference? Do you hope there will be any recommendations, or is it more of a conversation?
It's the start of a conversation because in the North, people I think assume that we already all know each other and collaborate, but there's a lot of red tape in education. So up to now, like these conversations have not really happened that much. And of course, we don't get the chance to meet in person that often. So what I hope that we see here is that people will connect, get to know each other, will stay in touch, and it'll be the beginning of something more.
Patrick, merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Wildfire seasons are an increasing challenge for one of the Yukon's signature summer events. So, organizers of the Yukon River Quest have moved this year's race up by a week, hoping to avoid the smoky conditions and fire activity that have disrupted the event in recent years. The annual canoe and kayak race covers 715 kilometers between Whitehorse and Dawson City, making it one of the longest paddling races in the world. The move comes after wildfires forced organizers to cut the race short in each of the last 2 years. They're hoping an earlier start will give paddlers a better chance of competing the full route before fire danger ramps up later in the summer.
It'll be interesting to see what the 1 week makes a difference on this year. It's hard to know what's going to happen. We've got not much rain at the moment, and finally it's getting warm. So hopefully we'll see some more snow melting. It sounds like the Teslin maybe came up a little bit, and I did see the Yukon River come up a little bit on the weekend. So time will tell on that end of things, sort of a few days before the race.
The race is set to start on June 17th in Whitehorse. A new Arctic research vessel now has a name chosen by Inuit. People in Nunavut and Manitoba voted online to name the ship Saku. The vessel will soon play a major role in Arctic science and community projects. Originally built in Europe for seismic research, the ship is now being refitted for work in northern waters. Once complete, Saku will support everything from marine science to community-based research across the Arctic. The vessel is also set to become the primary research ship for the University of Manitoba's Churchill Marine Observatory. Later this year, Saku will make the journey across the Atlantic to Halifax before heading north to Churchill, where it'll join the Arctic Research Foundation's growing fleet of research vessels and mobile laboratories. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. We leave you tonight with video of the Kakiza River in the NWT. Have a good night